Hello and welcome to Dotto Tech. Our show today is dedicated to safe computing. We're going to cover all the security issues surrounding both our computers and our personal cyber lives. Unfortunately, the internet is not becoming a safer and more secure place. If anything, the risks are greater now than ever. Now, where we used to concern ourselves with viruses that could potentially damage our system or maybe erase a few files, now we need to concern ourselves with identity theft. Where a hacker used to try and use our computer to launch a swarm of email on a target company, now we face keystroke loggers and screen scrapers that capture our passwords and our account numbers. The main danger on the internet used to be us losing data. Now it's all about stealing our personal information. The stakes in the game are higher than ever, but never fear. Fortunately, we are now more educated on the issues, and we have tools available to help protect us. And as usual, Symantec is front and center on the security front. So let's have a look at Norton Internet Security 2007. When we first launched this application, a whole new interface greets us, and I'm told right away that my system is secure because I got the big green check. If there was an area of my software that I have not paid attention to, or there's a risk on my system, I'll have a big X there that I have to deal with. Now, the software itself is broken into three areas. The Norton Protection Center tab here, which kind of gives us a snapshot of the health of our system. Norton Internet Security tab, which allows us to control the tools that protect our computer. And the add-on area, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But let's begin here with the Norton Protection Center, which is, as I say, kind of a snapshot of the security of our computer. If I open the first tab, which is Basic Security, it tells me the state of all my basic security tools. I've got little green checks beside each of them. If there was an issue with any of them, I'd have a red X that I'd have to pay attention to. So my virus protection is turned on. I have an inbound firewall preventing intrusion. Windows Automatic Update is running, and this is an area people should pay attention to. Windows Automatic Update is when Microsoft releases a new version or a new update to Windows that plugs a security risk. Now, a lot of people put off installing this because you have to reboot your computer, and that usually takes 10 or 15 minutes out of your day after you've installed the Windows Automatic Update. Don't delay. Reboot your computer right away, because if there is a problem, it's because somebody has already exploited it. So there's a real risk out there. So always run Windows Automatic Update as soon as you're notified on your computer. Our protection updates, such as my virus definitions, are all up to date. My spyware protection is up to date, and I've run a full system scan. This is another thing people sometimes put off, but after you've installed Norton Internet Security or Norton Antivirus, it wants to run a full scan to make sure there's no viruses embedded in your system. Do that once. It takes a couple of hours. It actually took about 3.5 hours to do this computer, but it can run in the background, so I was able to continue working while I did my full system scan. Next level of tools are all about our connection to the internet. An advanced firewall to block both incoming and outgoing traffic. Outgoing email scanning, making sure you don't accidentally send a virus to a friend. Instant messenger scanning, which is an important additional defense. This is one area that virus writers exploited in the past because while we used to be able to scan incoming emails and outgoing emails, we didn't always scan incoming data from instant messenger. And we can send attachments like music files, photos, or even applications. We can send files back and forth as attachments within instant messenger programs. Now Norton scans those and makes sure there's no viruses embedded there as well. Intrusion prevention and incoming email scanning for viruses complete the connecting to the internet area. And finally, we have transaction security, which protects you against phishing attacks. Now, phishing is a very scary technique that is launched on us through email. Typically, what happens is you'll receive an email that looks like it comes from your bank or from eBay, some legitimate organization that you have an account with. And that email will tell you that there's a problem with your account and you should log on to rectify that problem. And they provide you with a link to the logon page so that you can go in and rectify your account. In fact, that link is to a bogus page where they capture your account information. Now, sometimes you won't know that it's even been captured because they will put you forward and on into the legitimate site. But what's happened now is they've got your username, they've got your password, and basically your world is their oyster. Once they have that information, they can begin to steal your identity and steal from you. Phishing attacks are terrifying, and you should know that your bank will never send you an email with a link to log on. They just won't do it. It breaches all security protocol. So phishing attacks are protected within Norton because they look at each website you go to and make sure that it's a legitimate site so you can't accidentally go into a bogus site. And one thing that you should pay attention to as well is if they've got one name and password from you, so many of us use the same password over and over again that you can just imagine the kind of damage that can be caused by a successful phishing attack. So you want to make sure that you're protected against that. Now, that's the basic areas. Now, how we manage each of those areas is in the Norton Internet Security tab. Here we can go through and we can manually run scans, we can configure our software, or we can go into the settings area here where we can set all the different preferences up for any of the different tools. Sometimes your security is a little too aggressive in the presets that Norton puts, or sometimes it's a little too lax. So you can go in and you can adjust it here. Additionally, if you're, say, installing a piece of software, sometimes it requests that you disable Norton Antivirus for a period of time until that software is installed. And you do that here by going in to your auto protection, clicking on that, and as soon as you click on that, you can either turn it off, and if there are options for you to configure, you can click on the configure button here and you can modify the settings for all of your different security tools. So they're all embedded here. As well, we have the different reports, so you can see reports. If you've had a problem, you can view the activity log and you can deal with it accordingly. Now, the final tab is the add-on area, which we'll be talking about in a few moments. Now, these tools are really your first line of defense. Coming up, additional software that keeps you safe and secure. All 26 episodes of Dotto Tech Season 3 are available to borrow at participating libraries. Check our website for details.